Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, if someone asks you or raises a question of something that you don't like, what do you do? Well, if you don't want to answer it, the easiest and the fastest way, the most obvious way, is to change the subject, right? Or to create a subject of more importance than the ones that the subject the other person tried to raise. That if someone tells you, well, you know what, Emil, you did this, and what can you tell us about it? You can turn it around and say, you either change the subject like abruptly or smoothly, however you feel like, depending on the audience, or you just claim it actually that's not a big deal. The big deal is what you did, and you bring something bigger. So you attack. Well, these are, weasel ways. So I guess this is what's going on here in the Republic of Moldova. Yes, and from what I heard from the reporting from the Ukrainians and others, the things are not very good over there in Moldova. I heard that it's a lot of many protests against President Sandu, who is one that is doing the West's bidding. And obviously the opposition wants to get the power. And how do they do that? By throwing shit on the other side. And the other side throw it back. And so back and forth. And in the meantime, nobody does anything. And instead of the country, improving, they just, cut each other's legs. Okay, let me cut your leg. And then they both collapse. And everything collapses because these guys, instead of saying, you know what, let's do something for our nation. But the problem is over there, from what I know, it's kind of like a mixed, it's a lot of Romanians, oh my bad, Moldovans, and a lot of, however you want to call them, I don't get stuck into semantics, but some of them feel that they are Russians, some of them, they say gypsies, some of them are Tatars, some of them are Ukrainians. That's a diverse society, but it seems like they're not all on board. It's kind of like, the Russians with the Russians, the Moldovans with whomever pays more, and all that. Not that the Russians are not the same, but, I had to make a difference. So the problem is, something is going on there, and the government must immediately point the finger to an enemy that will be the common enemy. Therefore, by doing that, it's going to unite the country. The problem is they've been pointing the finger at Russia. And the problem is they have a big minority of Russians in Republic of Moldova. And that doesn't work. It doesn't really work with those guys saying, oh yeah, Putin is a dictator, he's a bad guy. No, I just suspect, I have a gut feeling that a lot of them say, well, I hope Putin comes over here and saves us from Sandu's love and happiness. But hey, that's only gut feelings, okay? There's not evidence, even though the numbers say that about the Russian minority over there. And you might wonder, how in the hell is the Russian minority in Moldova, in Republic of Moldova? I mean, why don't you ask Stefan the Great how many, Russians were or Ukrainians were when he had big Moldova, not the little Republic of Moldova that is right now taken the western side, the southern side. Oh, the southern side was given to Ukraine. Oh my God. I don't understand how Ukraine was given so much land. Crimea was given, part of Moldova was given, part of Romania was given, part of Hungary was given, part of Poland was given, but how? Why am I not given anything? Not that I want, but it's just by curiosity. I'm just curious. I think I got the answer. I just had an enlightenment right now. I had a Satori, moment of Satori, Buddha, enlightenment. Oh my God. You know what it is? Because they're good people. And because they got Zelensky now. They are good people like any other society. Got good people, bad people, based on majority proportions. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. We got Ukrinform from December 19th, 2022. Head of Moldova intelligence says risk of Russian invasion next year seen as high. Okay. So what are you going to do about it? Ask NATO to come and get you? and save you, transfer you to America. Russia may invade Moldova in early 2023. No, I think it's going to be the unicorns who's going to come over and take over Moldova. And if not, I think Jesus Christ might come, have his second coming, and, you know, bring peace, love, and we're all going to live and sing songs and praise everybody over there, or only one actually, not, I know what I mean, because anyway. So Russia may invade Moldova in early 2023, while the decision will rest on whether Russia seals gains in Ukraine. So you're next, right? That's what you're saying? Okay. And then Poland is next, and Hungary, the Baltic states, and then what? Go to Germany, Czech Republic, or Slovakia, Czech Republic, Austria, and go towards west until they go to the Atlantic and they wash their feet in the Atlantic Ocean. Maybe. That's a possibility. I don't think it's a probability, but anyway. This was stated by the head of the Information and Security Services of Moldova, SIB, Alexandru Musteață. Musteață means mustache. Ukrinform reports with reference to Newsmaker. Musteață said in an interview with TVR Moldova, TVR Romanian Television Moldova, that the security agency is studying various versions of developments, among which there is a possibility that Russian troops will try to capture the north of Ukraine and, if successful, advance to Moldova. And I'm quoting, "The question is not whether the Russian Federation will launch a new offensive towards the Moldovan territory, but when it will happen, early next year, January or February, or later in March or April. But judging by the information we have, Russia can go further to create a corridor with the Transnistrian region, which is territory of Moldova. Then it will be possible to say with clarity that yes, they are going to advance here to connect the territory. We can discuss what it happened after that, when what their intentions are for Chisinau, the capital of Moldova, but this is a real, that is very high risk," Musteață said. The intelligence chief also noted that the largest ammunition depot in Europe, located in Kolbasna in the Transnistrian region, is very thoroughly guarded by the Russian military, according to one of the officials' assumptions. Russia has plans to use the ammunitions in possible military confrontation. They have 1,000 Russian military in Transnistria. How many military personnel does the United States have in Syria? Ask Musteață, and I would like to hear Musteață going and saying, hey, those American troops in Syria are illegally located there, and they are just overseeing the looting of the Syrian oil from the northeastern fields. I would like to hear Musteață say that. If he says that, I'm going to say he's an honorable man. He's an honest man that I will trust. If he doesn't say that, then fuck him. All right? Plain and simple. As reported by Ukrinform on December 5, the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Moldova announced that the border police found Russian missiles debris near Bricani. A criminal case was initiated. Alexei Danilov, when you hear Danilov, don't believe anything. Secretary of the National Security Council said that a Russian missile hit the territory of Moldova. You're not trustworthy at all, and I'll tell you why. Because when your missile fell on the territory of Poland, you, in an hour, you weasels came out and say, it was the Russians. The Russians attack NATO. Hello, you gotta start attack NATO. That's how it was. Attack Russia. That's how it was. And then they say, well, wait a minute, I don't think it was Russia, I think it was yours actually. No, it wasn't. So I don't even know if really it was Ukrainian, the S-300, or it was a Russian missile over there. But I don't think they wanted it to be a Russian missile, because that should have triggered a certain kind of problems. So that's why I said, you know what, let Ukraine, it's a possibility. I'm not saying that what happened. You take the fall Ukraine, it was your missile. Ukraine said, no, it wasn't. Yes, it was, shut the hell up. we gotta cover up something, because if that would have been a Russian missile, and say, yes, it was a Russian missile, then they had to do something about it. And that would create more headache, instead of saying these guys were just tried to hit one in the name of the good, but they missed and then somehow just fell on exactly one cart with two people. I know, it's like I close my eyes right now, I take my slingshot and I just use it, or I take my pistol, shoot there, and I don't know, I kill someone straight in the temple. Really. Let me take the Paganini Il Canone and give you a little bit of capricci. Anyway. So I don't believe what this Mustiață says whatsoever. Why? Because he's just trying to point the finger at the Russians. Is there a risk? Yeah, there is a risk that the Russians might come and smack them around. That's a risk. Is there a risk that Ukraine might do that? Yeah, it's a risk too. And you say, how? What, do you think the Ukrainians are your friends or something? Based on what? Just because you serve the same master doesn't mean you're friends. How should I put it other way? Ukraine has your southern part of your fucking country and their territory. That's part of them. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your southern part, where you have the border from there to the Black Sea. Who has that? Ukraine. Why don't you look a little bit at the freaking maps, historical maps. Go and talk to Stefan the Great. Go and ask him. Hey, go at Putna, where he's buried. You say, King, sir, hey, how are you? Who has those? Those territories belong to whom? And tell him Ukrainians. You're gonna say who? That belongs to the Ukrainians. He's gonna ask you again, who? Never heard of those guys. Who are those? The Tatars? Who? What are the Turks? What are the yeah. And you squeak. So don't tell me about, oh my God, the Russians. What did the Russians do to you? They got a Transnistria? When you're gonna ask Ukraine for your bigger territory that was taken from you, then I would be eager to say, yeah, Transnistria is, is a bad thing, which it is. I'm eager to say that, yeah, the Russians have that under occupation, an enclave over there to make sure that you're nice and easy. But then you don't say anything about the other guys who got more territory from you that you didn't fight for, you didn't die for, your ancestors. So while you don't ask those guys to give you back what's yours, you shit on your ancestors, my Moldovan friends. So yeah, you can shit how much you want on the Russians, and you rightfully so, but don't tell me about the Ukrainians, because they have from you more than the Russians have from you. Okay? Okay, we got that right. And then let's not talk about Bukovina, okay? That's another thing. So yeah, things are a little bit more complicated if you know a little bit of history. Not a lot, because if you know more, then you ask questions like, what do you mean Ukrainians? What do you mean? Cetate Alba. Yeah? And not only, there are many over there that were Stefan's, not Ukrainians' lands. Just to get me riled up with this. But, go and read, man, and then before you point the finger, Mustiață, at the Russians, or point the finger at the Russians, point it. But the fact that you don't point another finger to other guys that have more from you, from your land, than those guys, oh, the Ukrainians are my friends. Based on what the fuck evidence they're your friends? Because they didn't fuck you up yet? Jesus Christ. And I'm not getting the Ukrainians as being bad or anything, but a little bit of consistency. I mean, oh, they got a Transnistria. Oh my God, it's a little strip on the eastern part of Moldova. Oh my God, yeah, okay. How about the southern part, the big square, the block? How about that? Why don't you have access to the Danube, the Black Sea only by the river? Not even that, because you have to ask those guys around, I guess. I don't know. It's the right of whatever laws of navigation that allow you to go. They have access to, but you have a port to the Black Sea. Why is that? Because your friends have your land that you used to have, but you don't give a fuck because you don't care about your ancestors. Yes, I'm insulting you right now. I'm trying to make you do something. Open your mouth. Call it as it is. Get a little bit of boiling blood. But hey, don't direct it, don't kill the messenger here, no. The problem is over there, not here, mentioning these things. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.